Welcome back to the show. I am Kinsey Roberts.
And I'm Lindsay Lucas. Together, we're the Venue Podcast. On today's episode, Kinsey's going to guide us through the LinkedIn of Instagram and exactly what that is. I'm excited to learn more.
The LinkedIn of Instagram. I love that. That is a fancy way of saying carousel posts. Carousel posts on Instagram for venue owners. And I'm gonna take a stab here and just say on Facebook too. Might as well. Might as well. It's not gonna hurt us.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like I feel like Facebook is like the forgotten land of content. Like it's just like an afterthought at this point.
I kind of do too, except for Reels. I feel like static posts on Facebook, you're right. It's like the never never land.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really curious. If you disagree with us, will you please put that in for the wedding industry specifically and specifically for venue owners? Will you please put in the comments of this video or shout out, give us a shout on Instagram if that is true for you too, that Facebook is like the wasteland, Facebook static posts for you, or are you like, no, we get so much traffic and so many bookings from them? I'm actually really curious about that.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, so LinkedIn of Instagram is what we're calling carousel posts. As we record this in 2026, carousel posts are still performing very well. Recently, and I apologize, I cannot think of where I saw this, but most recently, it might have been on something that Brock Johnson posted. Maybe. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I have seen somewhere that as of the moment, and this can change as we know quickly, but as of the moment, carousel posts perform 3 times better than any other post on Instagram. And I think that venue owners should be taking advantage of that. Why not? One of the reasons I think this is so great for us as venue owners is that our businesses are fairly complex and we have a lot to share with our clients. And what better, and our prospective clients, and what better way to do that than on a carousel post where someone is expecting to scroll through 8 to 10 slides. That's the nature of the carousel post. And I feel like it feeds so well into how much we should be saying and have to offer our clients that is super valuable information. Not to mention the visual piece, right? That goes without saying in the wedding industry. We have past weddings, styled shoots, etc., that can really be complementary to those posts.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I'm guilty of not doing enough carousels myself just because I have so much B-roll that it's just like I'll just throw up a reel, right? But I really do need to implement more carousels.
Well, and I think that's true for a lot of us. I think, one of the things I would love for all of us to stop saying is like, I am bad at this or I am guilty of this. We just did it. I just did it on this other episode we recorded. It was true. But one thing I would love to see all of us do is just say, yeah, haven't done that up to this point, and maybe this is going to encourage me to do it. That's kind of how I have felt about carousels in the last, handful of months is, yeah, I haven't always done it, but this is encouraging me to do it. I mean, you can't ignore a stat like that, 3 times better performance. So
Yeah.
let me make my case. Let me make my case for carousels. If you guys hate it, that's totally fine. There's a lot of other marketing and visibility you could be doing, but let me make my case for it on this episode and we'll see where we get. First things first is carousels in and of themselves are are scratching a psychological part of someone's brain that is their curiosity. Everybody needs to know the next thing. They are curious. They want the answer. Now you've got them hooked, right? They're on slide 2 or 3. They want to know how the story ends. That is something that we cannot fabricate that. That is something that is naturally built into the human psyche. We are all naturally curious and we want the answer. It reminds me of this current voice overlay on Instagram. Have you heard it? Where it's like, I do be nosy, not in like a judgmental way, but I do be nosy. Like, I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
That's,
Well, it's
yeah,
so
same.
true. Like I've seen myself, like I'll catch myself scrolling through carousels and I'm like, okay, when's the punch coming?
Yes,
Like I want to know what the punch is.
yes. Sometimes I'll scroll through to the end, like, okay, what's the, and I look at a lot of educational carousels. That's just kind of my thing. And I'm like, what is it? Or actually, not even just educational one, like, marketing guys. The other one I love to scroll through is book recommendations because I'm a big reader.
Oh
So
yeah.
I will scroll those, all day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Also, this is
But
like
take advantage
sidebar
of it.
completely off topic, but do you know what my new favorite habit is on Instagram is Going and see like the people that I follow, it'll show you like what they've liked. And I'm like, oh, what has Sarah liked today? Right. I love to see like what content are my friends consuming and what does it look like? More importantly, I love finding out like what my clients, like what content are they consuming, right? And if
That's
it's
so
like,
smart.
if they're consuming and liking content that is not helping their business, I will absolutely shoot them a text and be like, hey, I know you're pregnant, but like, can we stop on our business account liking all of the baby things because it's changing your algorithm and it's not helping you any.
That I love that call out.
Yeah, well, I mean, my one on my high ticket one-on-one clients, like we text forever and ever, amen. Like even when we're done working together, we just become friends. I mean, you know what it's like
Right.
to be like in the trenches with somebody.
I
That
know.
that relationship doesn't end just because the contract does.
Right. Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. That is okay. So that is a great sidebar because what a great way to see what your clients, potential clients, and even your competitors, like what kind of content they're interacting with. And that can help inform your content calendar. Like how can you stand out from that content, but insert yourself in ways that people are going to be interested in.
Yep.
Yeah, very
Yep.
smart. So, just so you guys know, I have Lindsay and I do this all the time. We make so many notes on these episodes. We just do these major deep dives. And so now that we've implemented video, we have our notes next to us. Like I'm looking at my phone notes. So if I look this way, it's because I just don't want to miss anything that we were like, hey, we want to hit on all of these points. So heads up, if I look this way, it's not because I'm looking at, a weirdo coming into my office, hopefully. It's because I want to make sure that we hit all of these notes. So, to that end, about figuring out, what are your clients looking at? What are people engaging in? I think carousels are, I don't know for sure, but outside of them being, scratching that like curiosity itch that we all have, that sort of nosy itch, if you want to say, one of the things that I am wondering about carousels is, are they popular because they allow someone to get to know you more without so much investment. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and that's for me, I love to be able to just like casually scroll without the anxiety of like this reel is going to end in 30 seconds. Or 15 seconds, and I still don't
Yeah.
know what I want to know, but I also don't have to talk to anybody. And I don't have to listen to anything if I don't want to. Like I can
Yeah.
keep it on silent and I'm still learning about this company, about this product, about, this new marketing trend or, these books or whatever. I feel like I'm fully in control of my time when I'm looking at a carousel and I'm learning what I want to learn and I can leave at any time. I know the same is true with reels, but I do sometimes get that little bit of not anxiety, that's too strong of a word, I think, but just kind of like the quickness of the
Right. It's gonna
reel, like, oh, it's gonna be over. I better make sure that I get out what I want. And I feel like if anybody feels that way about carousels, our clients likely feel the same. And what an incredible marketing and visibility opportunity to take advantage of that in a healthy way and help them get to know your business on their terms.
Yeah.
Where, like I say, they can scroll as quick or as fast as they want through your carousel. They can mute your music if you put one on there. And like I said, for venues, our product tends to be fairly complex, right? It's not just like we sell a brown purse. Do you want this brown purse? It is, we're a venue and here's all the inclusions and all those things, right? And so I think that's why carousels could be really valuable for venues when we're talking about, are they worth putting the time and effort into? So one of the things my clients have asked me is like, listen, these do take time and effort. So how can I make them valuable? And as I was thinking through like, well, why do I scroll through carousels? It's because I'm learning something on my own terms. And so when I think about sort of content that venue owners, in my opinion, should use on carousels, I actually wrote down three things. So I want to make sure that I hit them for you guys. The first one was educational formats. So actually, like this is the format, and then here's three ideas for you. That way you can like tangibly take this away. So the first one was an amazing one. We talk about this all the time, right? Shout out endless customers, formerly known as they ask you answer. You're going to see that my ideas go straight along with that kind of content. So the first is 10 questions to ask ask at every venue. And I'm actually going to do you one better and give you a full breakdown here in just a few minutes where I give you the hook for that. But so 10 questions to ask at every venue tour. Listen, the reality is I don't care how many times you've posted that, how many times you've made a lead magnet about that. Did you post a blog post about it? The point I'm trying to make with these carousels is to hit the people that I'm trying to book. So
Yep.
every time someone new is seeing your content, and they do need to know the 10 questions to ask. So it doesn't matter if you posted that 6 months ago or last year, you're now on a new cycle with new people booking, and those people still don't know the 10 top questions to ask at their venue tour. That's what I want you to think through with all of this educational content is who are the people who are looking to book my services today, not who you think you were 6 months ago as the venue. Because as venues, we know this, right? It's one of the reasons we tell people like, I don't need an email list. My clients are always cycling through. And this is exactly why you need this content over and over and over again. Call it something different, make the images different, but we're always looking for people who need the same answers, right? So the
Yeah.
second one I thought of was wedding planning timeline. What I like about this is that it does a couple of things, two things. It communicates your personal process at your venue. So when I show a wedding planning timeline example, it goes directly along with my hours of access. So it gives the people or not your it shows them what your policies actually are. You should never be showing examples that directly contradict your policies, right? So if I
Yeah.
post a wedding planning timeline in 6 slides, the timeline is going to be conducive to my policies and when my access and my end time is. And the second thing
Yeah.
so that's the first thing that it does. And the second thing that it does is it makes you an authority. You're saying, I know what it takes to put together a timeline that builds an incredible wedding that feels amazing, that also fits within your venue's access. So that a timeline post like that can really kill two birds with one stone. Always sharing things in an educational and helpful way that any bride could take away and that they have great feelings about your space, even if they don't book with you, but never negating what your own policies are. So you're subconsciously filtering in that information. And then the third idea that we had was a vendor comparison. This one I thought of because we have catering options because we consider Vista View Events a raw space venue. So we're not the full planning process. Like we allow outside vendors, they have to be professional, all of that, but we have so many catering opportunities because we allow those raw space vendors. So it could be a food truck, it could be a buffet, it could be a plated meal served individually, it could be family style. So those vendor comparisons and those options explained again position you as an authority, are subconsciously placing your own venue's policy on your couples. And it also helps them make decisions because when you're sharing your own pros and cons, hey, here's the pros and cons of having a food truck. Here's the pros and cons of having a buffet. You're helping couples make decisions again on their own terms. It is a very soft sell to have a carousel, but you have so much space and opportunity to really express your intent and the information that you want to share in an incredible way. Carousels have just kind of like blown my mind, especially like I say, in the venue industry, because we have so much to offer and so much information, and we don't always get the opportunity to share it like this. So why wouldn't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Tell me.
Well, I was just going to ask, like, you've given three, right? But
Yeah.
like, what's the next thing? You've given the three examples for like educational carousel formats, but outside of education, like, what are some other things that they could be sharing as a venue?
Mm, I think outside of education, I think they could be sharing a few things. I'm going to say it every time. I think you should be sharing your price. Please share your price. If if we have their eyes and they are going to be curious, you could be giving budget examples, you could be sharing your price. One of the big ones that I love is, and I think we forget this sometimes, is that you can incorporate video into carousels. And so I think you could do a full tour of your venue on carousel and then pin that to the top of your Instagram profile. And then you're touring when you're sleeping, literally.
Yeah.
I think you know what I mean? I think that could be such a good fit for people's Instagram. Sharing your price, let's see, what else? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, looking ahead at your notes, you have like 20 questions to ask your venue, and then,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what I'm really curious about is you just have a little note here. It says slide by slide breakdown. Like, is there a formula for this?
Yes. Okay. So sorry, that's the next thing. The slide by slide breakdown. We know this. Like, why do you keep scrolling? It's because you're interested and because they what? They hooked you.
Yeah.
So, and now once we get to that breakdown of like the 20 questions to ask your venue, I'm going to give you guys a hook for that. So, our slide by slide breakdown looks like this. It's the first slide is the hook, then the middle slides are the next slides are context, then those middle slides are details, and then finally at the end you have a call to action. I feel like that's really important for venues to follow that slide by slide method because you say what you need to say, but I feel like sometimes we're forgetting the call to action. What do you want them to do after that? And that call to action can be a number of things. Don't just say contact us for more information. Click here to book a tour. I think it's incredibly important for your call to action to be directly related to your carousel. This does take extra effort, but extra effort will never be wasted, right? The extra mile is never crowded. So here's an example. Let's say you did do that catering comparison slide that I was just giving you as an example. My call to action on that slide wouldn't be to book a tour with me here. My call to action would be if you're getting married in Western Colorado, here's a list of our 10 favorite caterers who are never going to do you wrong. And then it's a PDF like comment caterer to get it sent to, DM directly to you.
Yeah.
If you make your call to action related to that carousel, it increases the chances of those couples making a decision to take the next step. And then once you have them in that orbit, then you can start giving them more contextual information about your venue. But I think we miss an opportunity by not following that method or that roadmap because it always ends in not offering calls to action, right? Or our calls to action are the same, like email us for more details. The goal is twofold. The goal is to make it incredibly easy for people to get to know you. And these social platforms want their people to stay on their platform, so let them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
hmm
that.
hmm okay, the next one is, let's see, I mean, you guys know, I wrote that on there. I wrote Canva templates on there because I just wanted to remind myself. Do you know where I have found incredible carousel templates is the Tonic site shop.
Oh,
So
really?
she does,
Look at her
yes.
stuff. It's so long. I need to go revisit her stuff.
Revisit her stuff. Tonic site shop. I no affiliation here, but they create Canva templates obviously for posting and everything, but her Instagram packets of templates are not just carousels, but she knows that carousels perform well, so she includes carousel like full themes for carousel posts within those Instagram templates that you can purchase, and darn it, they look good. You don't even have to try. All you have to do is input your information, and you look so pro.
Nice.
Tonic
I
site
just made
shop.
a note to put a direct link in the show notes for everybody.
Yay. Okay, good. Okay, let me break this down for you guys. I think the easiest thing to do now that we've convinced you to try carousels is to give you a full breakdown so that you can also see that method, that roadmap in action, hook, context, details, call to action. So let's say you want to do a carousel and the carousel is 20 questions to ask your venue. We all know there's more than that, but 20 questions to ask your venue. So your first slide is your hook. What is the hook of that topic? Here's your hook. These 20 questions will save you $5,000. These
What?
20 questions will save you $5,000 because we're talking to
I
our
love
couples,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So when I tell my couples 20 questions to ask your venue, here's what I was thinking of when I wrote these ideas. I was thinking of I have off-peak dates. If they
Mhm.
decide to book a weekday in July, they are going to save, I think it's 4,100 for me. Like they save a bucket of money. So one of the questions everybody should be asking their venues, if you're a bride or if you're an engaged couple, is do you have off-peak dates? Do you have off-peak deals? Give your couples that information. It is our
Yeah.
job. It is our duty to give them that information. So these 20 questions will save you $5,000. Slides 2 through 8. 3 questions per slide with a brief explanation. So we're giving them the 20 questions, right? So 3 through 8 are all of those questions. Here's the question you ask, and here's the why. Don't just give them the question because they're like, why do I need to know that? What do I care about their bathrooms? Here's the question you ask. super brief explanation of why you asked that question. And then slide 9 is your call to action. So for me, right, I told you that I would give you a specific catering information if I was doing that catering carousel. For this one, we could say comment checklist to get the full guide. Maybe you have a full planning guide for your couples all about venue tours. Like here's how to make sure your venue, like you get the right venue for you after doing only 3 tours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You guys know, I don't think I have to say this probably at this point, but you guys know like the comment checklist to get the full guide, that can all be performed through like a SaaS product called like ManyChat is one of them. I feel like a lot of us use it, but if you don't, we'll put it in the show notes. ManyChat is a really good opportunity for that. Um, and so one of the things that I asked, like I went and I researched. So I look at a lot of carousels in the reading industry. I mentioned that in the marketing industry, the interior design space. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a great place for us to find inspiration with because they also have a visual heavy industry, but we can learn new things from them. And so what I found was that 3 to 8, let's see, what did I write? I was like, don't forget this, Kinsey. 8 to 10 slides was like prime. 8 to 10 slides was prime. 15, more than 15 is too many.
Can you even do 15? Holy cow.
I have never even tried, but that's what I have learned through smarter marketing people than me is 15 is too many. 8 to 10 is prime. So
Okay.
what's the key there? The point of saying that is that you are going to have to tighten up your message. That's the key point is that if you don't tighten up your message, you're going to feel like, oh, I need 15 slides, and you shouldn't. So if you need more than 10 slides, you don't have a slide space issue, you have a message issue, and you need to go back and figure out where you can tighten up your messaging to really get the main points across to the engaged couple looking at that carousel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Kinsey, what's the takeaway? What's the actionable? Like, what should we be talking about? What should we be doing from here? In my opinion, carousels are your secret weapon to position yourself as an authority in your local regional market to couples who want to book venues like yours. And it is a very low barrier to entry way to communicate your policies as a venue. Those are two huge things, right? What do we do at a tour? We can position our venue as the best, we position ourselves as an expert, and we low key communicate our policies and make them sound amazing. That's exactly what a carousel can be doing for you when you are not actually working. So, my key takeaway here is to educate your couples, build trust, and eventually, once you find that consistency, right, you will be pre-qualifying leads through carousels because they will, like I said, you're going to be educating them, you're going to be low-key communicating your policies. So pre-qualification comes directly after that. That is part of what Marcus Sheridan shares in Endless Customers assignment selling. You let people self-select. So my takeaway to you is create one carousel a week every single Tuesday, post it in the mid morning, and do that for 60 days for 2 months and see what happens on your carousels.
Oh, I love
That's my
that.
takeaway. That's my challenge.
Yeah, I love that. I love that there's an actionable takeaway from on this episode. So, question. In the previous episode, which guys, if you haven't listened to that, please go back and listen to it. Kinsey dropped some major bombs on helping to elevate our consistency, which I feel like is kind of the silent killer for business owners, especially CEO business owners, right? So, visionaries, I should say, really. In that episode,
Mhm.
you announced something that you've been working very, very hard on for a long time, which is the venue marketing machine. Super pumped
Yes.
about it. I think it's going to help a lot of venue owners. Um, so specific question to that is in venue marketing machine, is it just like one marketing channel? Do you talk about carousels? Is it only Instagram? What's it like?
Thank you for asking. So, Venue Marketing Machine, the reason it took me so long, well, one of the reasons I guess to create it is that it is not just Instagram and it's also not just one place to post content. Something that I believe in is something that Gary Vaynerchuk says, which is you have to post consistently in more than one place. That's the reality of the game that we are in.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so I have a quick question. In the previous episode, which guys, if you have not listened to the previous episode, go listen to that. It was really, really wonderful. Kinsey gave us like 6 tips on increasing our consistency and having accountability and actually showing up consistently within our content. And then she also revealed something that she's been working really, really hard on for several months now, which I'm so excited about. It's called the Venue Marketing Machine, and I truly believe that it's going to help so many venue owners. Um, so she talked more in depth in that episode about exactly what the venue marketing machine is. This is a deeper dive question that I have as a follow-up from the information in that episode, which is why I'm saying if you haven't listened to that, go do that. But so we're talking all about carousels, which obviously is Instagram. Within the venue marketing machine,
Mhm.
do you, I mean, I already know that you give templates for carousels, but is the venue marketing machine just for Instagram? Is it just like a solo platform thing?
Thank you for asking. The short answer is absolutely not. The longer answer is the no, because I am a big proponent of Gary Vaynerchuk and particularly his outlook on marketing, which is quality content on the 5 to 7 major platforms. And so that is the idea that I modeled the venue marketing machine off of. So if you haven't read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Day Trading Attention, he goes into extreme depth into his ideology about being producing quantity on the 5 to 7 major platforms. What are the 5 to 7 main platforms? So right now, as we record this, it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, um, LinkedIn, Snap. That can go either way for us. Pinterest is one that I input specifically in the venue marketing machine for wedding venues because it's incredibly important to us. So those are the 5 we work off of. And then if you personally want to include Snap, that would be your 6, right? But those are, or that would be, so those are the 5 that we work off of in the venue marketing machine. So as we talk about carousel content or as we talk about any content on the venue podcast, when you come over to the venue marketing machine and you decide to get in on that membership, which is an accountability group plus content plus implementation plus accountability, you can count on the fact that we are using Gary Vaynerchuk's ideology of our focus is quantity on those 5 to 7 major platforms so that we are getting that breadth of visibility because you guys, the competition is here, the competition is fierce, and if we want our businesses to continue to build and importantly scale, because scale means revenue, that's where we have to be. So that's why the venue marketing machine focuses on more than just Instagram.
Perfect, perfect. If somebody is interested in learning more, where do they go to
Thank
find that?
you. Thanks for asking. So they can go to venuemarketingmachine.com. We'll also link it under this video, or if you're listening on our pod, it's all in our show notes for the Venue podcast. But yeah, venuemarketingmachine.com, super easy. That's where you can find all of the information. There's a spot there where you can reach out directly to me. I answer all the questions right now because I want to make sure that it's a good fit for you and that I can tell pretty quickly. And if it's not, I will find you a better place. I'll say, hey, this isn't a good fit, but here's something else that I think might be. That's the goal. We want you in there if it's a good fit only, because I know what it feels like to waste money on things that I don't ever implement or don't work for me. I am the poster child for that, and I'm not going to let that be you. So I've got your back.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for that.
You are welcome. Thank you guys so much. Go out there, try some carousels. Remember, our key takeaway, our action item is if you would go out there, do an 8 to 10 carousel, slide carousel every single Tuesday for 2 months in a row. Tag the venue podcast so that we can see it and see where it gets you. See if you can start to build that muscle of longer form content that is expressing your policies, positioning you as an expert, but giving that soft sell on the person's own terms because they get to decide whether to slide or not. So thank y'all so much. As always, I am Kinsey Roberts.
And I'm Lindsay Lucas. Together we are the Venue Podcast. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you guys. Bye.